G'day everyone, my name's Cautious Pancake, and today let's have a look at my failure of a 3x3 base. And when I say failure, well that's because while it can handle most hordes, it's not up for the full Monty, but it does go okay if you tone things down a bit. This video is obviously a response to Glock 9's 3x3 challenge, and if you haven't seen his 3x3 throwables base, go check it out. For my base, I wanted to go with a minimalistic and pretty open build, made from concrete if possible, and using the unclimbable ladder approach that I've used in a couple of my base builds during Alpha 20. This should hopefully allow for a nice calm, static fighting position where you can just sit and pew pew all night long without needing to worry. Starting off with our base walkthrough, we can head downstairs where we've got our first generator. This is going to power the lower end ladder with all of the dart traps, all of the electric fences, and the tripwires that we can see here. If we trigger the first tripwire, you can see that fires a dart trap after 1 second delay for a 5-second burst. The idea is that will catch all of the zombies on the ladder that get stopped by that first electric fence just above the tripwire. The original intent was that you could climb up this side to get into the base, but after adding in all the lights so we could see what was happening, that blocked that off, so we need to just climb up the same way as the zombies, carefully avoiding all of the electrical wiring. When the zombies get to the top, I've just triggered one of the traps there accidentally, but when the zombies get to the top, they will try and take a shortcut across this. That's the unclimbable ladder part. They'll hit the railing and fall back down to the ground. The upper portion of the base is supported by that original ladder, as well as this pole. If the zombies do make it up to the top, they'll climb up this second ladder, which is protected by a tripwire again, and 3 dart traps, 2 there and 1 at the bottom, up through this hatch, which will obviously be closed during the horde night, and into our top fighting section. We also have the second generator at the top here, which powers the rest of the upper section, and our fighting position here is this little hole in the ground here, which is also supported by one of the ladders so that we can't accidentally fall down. Our job will be to sit up here with a rifle and shoot the zombies as they climb up the ladder and hopefully take care of business. Now my first attempt at combo went pretty well until it didn't. 30 minutes past midnight, having done quite a bit of damage to the horde so far. Everything's running nice and smooth. There's a massive pile of red bags down there. You can see how many demos we've previously taken out. And then that happened. See down the bottom, the ladder, which is the main structural support, and the zombies' way up, has fallen down, which leaves them no way to get to us, so it's just a matter of time before that first attempt is going to come crashing down. In response to that failure, changed the bottom blocks here to steel, as well as putting some extra blocks around the back of the ladder to try and protect the ladder itself, which I also converted to steel all the way up. I also added a bunch of extra dart traps that are wired off this motion sensor, provide a bit more firepower at the base of the ladder, and try and keep the zombies from doing a ton of damage and bringing it down. This attempt was also going pretty well, getting to about 1:30 in the morning, when this happened. If you look carefully, that was me triggering the chest plate of a demo through a cop due to the armor penetration perks. So that certainly wasn't intended when I took those skill sets. And whilst this is only the one that I'm showing, this actually happened a few times. It became a bit of a common theme that using the rifle from above with the penetrator perk is very easy to accidentally hit the chest plate of the demolisher. So I tried it again, this time with a machine gun spec, so that we don't have to worry about the penetrator perk going all the way through zombies, and we just get armor reduction instead. Unfortunately, I still managed to tag a demo and blow up the base, however that one's on me rather than the base. Having said that, I still found that it wasn't chewing through the zombies fast enough, and there was certainly more work than I thought needed, so as a result I went back to the drawing board again. For the next iteration, I added an additional dart trap down the bottom, and the dart traps around the bottom were also hooked up directly to the top generator, rather than being triggered from the motion sensor. The reason for some of the lack of damage on the previous build was that the motion sensor was getting blown up every time a cop exploded or a zombie got stuck up on the shelf and decided to wail on the motion sensor. So this time there's less failure in the electronics, which means we should get more damage from the dart traps supporting our gunning. This one did better, but over time there was still plenty of damage done to the supports and to the electronics, which resulted in less damage overall, and in the end the result was much the same. As a final change, I then, rather than linking these dart traps to the top generator, I flipped them over to an electric timer relay so that the darts would start firing 30 minutes in when the first wave, which contains lots of cops and demos, is at its peak. Now, to try and give you an idea of how the base is supposed to work, I've toned it down a little bit, and while we're still running 64 zombies with nightmare run speed, we're only running on warrior difficulty, so we should be able to get a bit of an idea of how the base is supposed to go when we don't have the extra health and damage of the insane difficulty setting to worry about, although we still have to watch how bad my shooting is and how many demos I can trigger. I'm expecting though it'll be a lot easier because we can cut through the other zombies to get to the cops in particular. Cops are a problem when they're hidden behind the other zombies on insane difficulty because you can't shoot through the other zombies fast enough to get to them, and if you take the penetrator perk and go sniper, you end up hitting demos in the chest plate when you can't even see them. So it's a bit of a balance, and that's why I think this design fundamentally just doesn't work on the high difficulty settings, because you just can't rip through the zombies fast enough when you need to. On this lower setting though, I'm expecting things should be okay, apart from a bit of random cop spit, which blocks our visibility but otherwise isn't too much of a problem. The chances of them hitting us through the one block opening is pretty low. You can see that the standard traps with the electric fences and tripwires are keeping the zombies at bay for the most part, although they do build up over time. We can just fire a few more bursts. It's also past 10:30 now, so we now have the traps at the bottom taking care of zombies and shooting up the ladder as well. And that will help keep the volume of zombies getting all the way to the top much lower. Take care of the demos carefully. There are also dogs on this setting. Could have been also that some of the problems from the earlier attempts is that the dogs were taking out the bottom blocks of the ladder. It's the other reason those dart traps at the bottom will help, is that as long as the dogs move around the side there a little bit, they'll get hit by the dart traps and taken out. If not, we just need to keep an eye out for dogs that are sitting off to the side. As you can see now, rather than having any real bursts of fire required, it's just a couple of shots here and there, just to keep tagging them. Helps with any rads, keeps their, or removes their regeneration due to the mods that we've got. Oh, there you go. And because we did tag the chest plate there, but on the lower difficulty, we're able to get shots in just because there's not too many zombies in the way. Built up a little bit so we can go for a bit of a full auto burst just to help bring it down a bit. There's another red bag. You can see we're getting quite a pile of them at the bottom from all the demos, which is nice. Obviously for this experiment it doesn't actually matter what loot we get, but it's always nice to see a pile of red loot bags. Do have to be a little bit careful when standing right here with that dart trap pointing straight up at us, that we don't stand right over the middle of the hole, otherwise otherwise it will hit us. I haven't built the tower tall enough to get out of range of that dart trap. See a zombie dog there too. Just take care of him so that he doesn't do too much damage to our ladder. Just past midnight now. Might just repair our weapons and switch over in the meantime. Oh, our first zombie got to the top. I think that demo just fell down as well. So we're starting to test the unclimbable ladder part. But since I've done that, let's just mow them down a little bit. Didn't trigger that demo, that's good. I think there was another one in there somewhere. Now obviously the wiring and electrics for this base are very exposed. Any cop blows up and we tend to lose a tripwire. In particular the tripwires, and unfortunately that's what triggers everything else. So even if we've got the electric fences still there and the dart trap still there, without the tripwires it doesn't work. And there was no way to obviously put trigger plates, not that they're that strong either, but we can't fit the trigger plates onto this sort of build. So I think we're getting on towards 130 now. As you can see, there's quite a big pile of loot bags at the bottom. The dart traps at the bottom are still firing. The zombie waves seem to be pretty light on, so I don't know whether we just finished one of them and maybe now we're bulking up for the next wave. We've still got a steady stream, but it's certainly not heavy. And dart traps are still doing their thing of just bringing the health down a little bit, so that makes it nice and easy to finish the zombies off as they come up the ladder. So heading in towards 3 AM now. Looks like the dart traps are still going down the bottom. I don't know for how much longer though, as they're on permanently. I don't know that the ammo is going to last the whole horde night through. But for now they're still helping us out, and that's good to see. 3:30. Dart traps are definitely off now. We've only got the ones firing as they hit the tripwires. The last 30 minutes we're going to have obviously a bit more activity since the zombies aren't getting their health reduced by the dart traps at the bottom and aren't getting shot as they come up the ladder. The dart trap at the bottom. So we'll have to do a bit more work with the guns, but that should be okay, because if they do get a little bit further up the ladder then they'll get hit by the tripwires, fences and dart traps that are still working. I'm thirsty. Time for a coffee. There's the morning. Let's have a quick look. 814 kills. And if memory serves, that's direct kills only, as the trap kills don't tend to count. As we found out in one of our other base evaluation videos, where we tried to look at the number of kills, and it wasn't including the trap kills. And that seems to have stopped all the zombies. So let's turn this off so we don't shoot ourselves with the dart traps on the way down. Let's have a quick look how the base held up. Now of course those traps are still on, so we might try and sneak down pretty ineffectively. One more big motor to take out. And I can hear someone else. Where are you? Not there. Around the back. Nope, I know where you are. You've glitched through. There you go. Hello. And one more loot bag, just to add to the pile. So we obviously lost the first 3 rows, it looks like. 3 levels of dart trap tripwires. Let's just go down here and turn this off. We lost the dart trap at the bottom, but otherwise things look like they've held up pretty well. Yeah, see that one's still there, but only the top 2 survived. So I'm not sure when that happened, but at some point during the horde night we lost those tripwires and fences down below. they're not very well supported, so if you do lose any piece in there, it tends to all fall down. We also lost a dart trap from in there. Someone obviously smashed on. Given the 3x3, we can't really add a lot of protection to those areas of the base. There is a lovely pile of loot bags, like I said, and overall on warrior difficulty, it holds up pretty well. Having a quick look at repair. For the most part, I don't expect there to be a lot of damage, because the zombies should just come straight in and head up. Overall, it's looking pretty good. Let's quick squeeze up the ladder. As you can see, not much damage on the way up. They don't get a chance to, because they're either getting shot by me, or knocked off, or attacked by the fences and the dart traps. Well, there you have it. A 3x3 base build that wasn't as successful as I'd hoped, but fun to try regardless. I hope you've enjoyed watching. If so, please have a go at the like button, and if you'd like to see more 7 Days videos, please subscribe and come back for the next one. As always, thanks for watching, and happy building.